Hey everybody, and welcome to the Solidity Insurance Group team call. It is officially April 30th of 2026, so we're going into the month of May, and each and every week I truly take a step back and think like who can we hear from that's going to help us up our business based off of talking to all of you guys. And first and foremost, I'm super appreciative that we get to work directly with Trey Honeycutt and we're directly a part of the Coast to Coast organization here within Family First Life. But also, it's just a blessing working with Trey because Trey's somebody who came into this business and actually treated it like a business. Didn't just treat it as a personal producer, understood kind of, and what he's going to dive in on a little bit more soon, or Trey, just so you know, is a little bit about the mindset behind that and why he did it that way. And as we can see, Trey's group is, issuing 3 to 5 million a month. So I mean, he's definitely done something right and is killing it. That all being said, we have Mr. Trey Honeycutt on the call with us today and super appreciative to have you on, Trey. How are you doing?
Oh, great. Yeah, it sounded like you were going somewhere with that. I was like, I
I
hope she
was. It
fills
was
me
like,
in on what we're talking about.
yeah, it was a long introduction, but it was a needed one. And Trey, really what I want to hit on today, maybe for those people out there who kind of don't know your backstory, just a little bit about kind of how you got started and why you started that way. And then really just talking to us a bit about like the fastest way to grow an organization if you're coming in as a brand new agent, or maybe you're here now and you want to up your business and treat it that way.
Well, I can definitely talk about those things. Thank you, Marisa. Thanks for having me on. Christina did a good job of the recognition. You guys are killing it. Always happy to be on the Solidity call. It's my favorite call. I know I say that every time I get on here, but yeah, for those that don't know my story, I got started with this back in 2014. Prior to getting started with Family First Life, I did a lot of different things work wise, but I didn't really have much financial success. I sold water softeners for a long time. That's probably the thing I made the most money at. Um, but when I got started with FFL, I had a lot of trepidation because I didn't feel like I was the best salesperson. I had a lot of multi-level marketing background. I actually had made money doing it. None of my friends did, but I did, and so I knew how to recruit. But it sucked being part of a business where you would recruit people that didn't make money. And so the thing that attracted to me the most about Family First Life, and I don't talk about this a lot, but actually the thing that attracted me most to Family First Life was that you could make money without recruiting. So when I did recruit people, at least I knew they could make a living. They didn't have to go make a list of their friends and family and do in-home parties and two-on-one presentations at Starbucks all day and go malling and go to the mall and try to make friends and try to recruit them into their multi-level marketing scheme so that they could buy $150 worth of vitamins every month and get 1,000 of their friends to do $150 worth of vitamins every month. That was the business model that I was used to. Now I loved the idea of recruiting. That was always great. What I didn't like the idea of is like nobody making any money. And so what this really represented to me was the fact that this is a real business where people can make real money selling the product. So you could get rich or at least have a really good lifestyle without recruiting anyone. Like that's still the number one recruiting tool that we got is a lot of people will come to this and they go, "Hey, it sounds like one of those pyramid things." And I'm like, "No, it's not, because your customers are not your agents." Like in multi-level marketing, if I recruit you, my goal is to get you to buy the product from yourself. That's how I sell it. It's the only way I know how to sell it. Here, I recruit you and tell you about leads. You go buy leads and then sell insurance to those people. That's a much better deal. The thing that's harder to get people than getting people to buy leads is to getting them to go sell to their friends. Like if y'all think it's hard to get people to buy leads, it's because you're just not being straight with them. Like, hey, I don't have money for leads. You shouldn't do it. You're going to fail. It's not a good idea. When you get some money, call me back. I mean, that's actually the conversation that should happen. But we get so caught up in like, well, they'll make money and then they'll reinvest in leads and all. It's not. It doesn't really ever happen because it's all a mindset thing. Because what's the alternative to buying leads? Well, make a list of your friends and family and let's go do practice presentations with your cousins, uncles, and aunts. But that's way harder than spending $500 on leads. And so once I got my mind around that part, I don't know. I'm just going to talk, Marisa. Hopefully, this is okay. I'm just going to do my thing.
I love it. Let it rip, Trey.
So, so once I got my mind around that, I was like, yeah. I'm going to start selling insurance and I ain't going to recruit nobody. I'm just going to go sell insurance. So for the first 2 years, that's all I did. That was the single most miserable 2 years of my entire life. I made money. I did. But if I'm being honest with you, this is the thing. And I'm gonna every time I get on a call with anybody from now on for the rest of my career at FFL, I'm going to say this. And I'm gonna become like people are gonna think of me, and everybody thinks of me now, and they go, "Oh, he's gonna say that too a day thing." Okay, I'm gonna change that. This is gonna be the thing I say the most that I really want people to resonate with for like the rest of my life in insurance. The single most dangerous place to be in this business is selling by yourself. That's the truth. People go, I thought selling was a great opportunity. It's an awesome opportunity, but it's the riskiest place to be. I started recruiting because I don't like risk. That's why I started doing it. If it's just me, that's too much responsibility. And if something happens to me, the business goes away. People say, well, not if you're consistent and like they go, it's like that. Like a carrier could be like, hey, we don't like Trey anymore and cut me off. That's risky. Like stuff that can happen. I have a friend, okay, I'm not gonna say who it is, in this business that ended up losing his license because somebody got mad at him and told a lie. And he lost his license where he couldn't sell insurance for like 6 years. And if, dude, and if his business had been solely on him, he wouldn't have had a business. But when you have a team, guess what you can do? You could be like, hey, this is now my wife's team. Did you still get money? Like, like for me, the thing that gave me the most hope and like belief and stability and actually owning something was knowing that I could build a team of producers that we all don't get kicked in the stomach at the same time. Because that's what happened to me. Like I would get kicked in the stomach, and it sucks getting kicked in the stomach when you're by yourself. But if there's 100 of you, if 30 of you get kicked in the stomach, you still have a positive day. I'm going to make, and I know this is being recorded, and this is probably a dangerous statement, but I'm pretty sure if you fact check this statement, that this person would agree with what I'm saying. You are not going to find you take the number one producer in the company, which is Steve Giordano, and ask Steve Giordano if it would have worked out if he didn't have a team. And I'm 100% sure he would say to you, no, I'd have quit. And that fool writes 100 grand a month on his own. And I'm 97% sure he would say, no, without a team, I would have quit. Because if you think about it, I'm going to give y'all some numbers. And I just drank a bunch of coffee before I got on this. I wasn't even planning on going this direction. But I'm going to share this with you guys so you can think this way. Let's say, let's say Steve Giordano writes $1 million, okay? And let's say his comp is 100%. All right. So he writes $1 million with the premium. His comp is 100%. That means that his upfront advance is $750,000. All right. Now, out of that $750,000, let's just say he has 70% persistency. So we're not going to add the back end money. We're just going to keep it at 750 because of the 70% persistency thing. It's probably higher, but let's just do that. Now, how much money do you think a person needs to spend on leads to make 750,000 or to write 100 grand a month? I think it's $20,000 to $25,000 a month. Okay. So we're going to go with 25,000. I think to write 100 grand consistently, you need to spend, let's just go with 20. Let's go with 20. Got to spend 20 grand a month. All right. Multiply that by 12. That's 240. Subtract that from the 750. And now you're left with 500 grand. Let's say, let's equate for the business that falls off before the 9 months is up. Let's take another 10% off that. Now you're down to 450. And let's say you have some other expenses, like you have a dialer. So 400 grand. Let's say he nets like after everything, he's paying taxes on 400 grand after writing that much, right? That's one way to build a business. Now, let's say he builds a team that does $1 million a month and he gets 100,000, and let's say his override is only 10%. So now that's $100,000 a month in overrides, or let's say 75,000, which is $1 million there. What's the cost for that? Like, if it's 75,000 a month, $1 million a year, what, an office, couple staff, like 4 grand, 10 grand a month. Maybe you help some people with some leads. It's like what's the cost there? Let's say 20 grand a month. Let's say some business falls off and he's got some chargebacks, he's got some roll-up debt. Let's just take 30% off of it. So $1 million a year, he's got 700 grand on that side. 700 grand that comes in if he gets sick, if he gets hurt, if a carrier gets mad, if a carrier says, hey, you don't meet these requirements anymore, way less risk. Y'all get that? Did that make sense at all? Because I had never really done that on a call, Marisa.
Yeah, that no,
Is
it
what
made
I'm
a
saying making
lot of
sense?
sense to me. Yeah, perfect sense. You're basically saying personal, and this is what I heard you say, Trey, is personally we can make a lot of money and that's great, but eventually it's going to come to a point where either the work's outdoing the time and or expenses. We think about lead expense, right? $1 million in a year. What are you really making? Whereas if you have a team doing 1 million, everybody's making money and you're making money. You have a lot less risk you have to worry about independently. So yeah, it's making perfect sense, right?
And it's way more stable. Like, okay, like when was the last time you went out of the country, Marisa? Where'd you go?
Last time I was out of the country, I believe I was in Mexico,
Okay. So when you were in
Italy.
Mexico, did Italy, when you were in Italy, did America call you to say, hey, are you working? Or
No,
are you hanging out by the beach? Like we were about to send you some overrides, but we wanted to know where you were.
no,
Like
they just paid me.
they just pay you. That's the thing. When you have a team and Bob, Sue, Mary, Sam, Heather, Marisa, Christina make sales, you still get paid. That was the thing. And that's what everybody's after is the lifestyle. And the lifestyle that y'all want, like you won't find the lifestyle that you want just by selling. Now, does that make selling bad? No, you gotta sell. That's a main gear in the process of getting the machine to work. That's the that's the fuel for it. Like that's a big part of it initially. But it shouldn't just be all selling. Like you got to recruit too. And one of the things we had an advantage. I'm gonna talk. Can I talk about inbound calls? I'm gonna talk about inbound calls. And I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell you
please
guys something
do.
because this is a very interesting time that we're in because I see people's gears like turning in their head, and I'm starting to see something I haven't seen in a long time. When me and Andrew were working together in the office, Zach Trudowski had just come on. A lot of stuff happened early on, 2017, 2018, 2019. And people strategically placed in their schedule time to build the business. Like that was part of what they were trying to do. Like it wasn't just, hey, let's just dial all day for 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, because somebody on Instagram said that was a good idea. Like we're going to put into our schedule time to actually build our businesses. And what that looked a lot like what Andrew would do is he would run appointments on Sunday. And if he could get to 10K by Wednesday, he would spend the rest of the week just recruiting and building. So that's what he spent all his time with. Trudowski would go out Saturday and Sunday, write 10K, and then build Monday through Friday. That was the schedule. Now, somewhere on the telesales path, we all got caught up in like, hey, and this is nothing wrong with this because people have to make a living, but we all got caught up in like 8 to 8. We're just going to dial all day. And we neglected actually recruiting and talking to people and helping new agents get started and answering phone calls. And there's nothing wrong with, hey, let's do it together on Zoom. Let's do it together on Discord, whatever. Like, that's all cool. But there's a part of this business where you like do it with people. That's true. But you also have to like schedule time to actually pay attention to building the business. And with these inbound calls, what I'm seeing people do is they're starting to get the hang of it where they go, hey, you know what? Like writing 50 grand a month is cool. But if I could write 25 with this, get back 20 hours of my week, go recruit 10 people and show them how to do the same thing, then I'll make more money and it'll be more stable. And that was the mindset we had early on. It wasn't just how much can we personally produce. And I want y'all to produce a lot. I do. Like you should produce a lot. Produce as much as you possibly can. I'm not against producing. But the thing that I wanted out of this, the thing Andrew Taylor wanted out of this, the thing Sean Mike wanted out of this was to build a business. Those were great producers, but they weren't here just to produce. The thing Steve Giordano wanted out of this is to build a business. The thing Maurice and Rami want out of this is to build a business. So, is this making any sense at all?
It's making perfect sense. Yes.
Okay, I think you had some other question. I just went off on a whole rant.
No, no, that was, I mean, you're hitting right on it. And I mean, Trey, kind of, if you take a step back, right, you talked a little bit about inbounds and kind of putting that time aside and prior to the field, how that was almost like implemented and embedded into our schedules. Like,
Yeah.
if you're taking an agent today that's brand new to telesales, and they want to build their business, like, when would you tell them, hey, like, carve out some time? Like, what would that maybe look like, Trey?
Well, I figured out how much time or how much money they have to invest in leads. I would get them on inbound calls. I'd get them to start early in the morning. I'd set a goal of one, two, three sales, whatever they can hit. And when they hit that goal for the day, we would take the rest of that time that they've allocated toward the business and we would start sharing this with everybody. Because the other thing that we have with this inbound call thing is a whole market that we've never actually been able to tap inside of Family First Life. And that's the find people that want to do this part-time market. Like we've never actually really been able. Wilson Burge made $12,000 last month. She don't have no sales experience. She has two kids under the age of 3. Her husband is a police sheriff that works the night shift in a town that I wouldn't go out after dark in. And she doubled their household income during nap time. Like, that's a thing. Like, that's something to recruit to. It's hard to get everybody just to throw everything in and quit their job. And my buddy, I don't want to say his name because he's going to come on and probably say the thing, but he's really successful. He's like the president of a local bank, right? And he's like successful. He has a reputation where we live, right? Everybody knows who he is. They think he's like the biggest shot ever, right? And he does well. He makes a few $100,000 a year, right? People see me, they don't, like nobody thinks I make any money. Like it's kind of interesting. So we go to this celebrity golf tournament thing for the town, not real celebrities, but like local people. And we're out there. He's got a ton of employees, got all this stuff going on. And he said, hey, I've been looking at your Instagram. What how does this work with these young kids? It seems like they're doing pretty good. Those kids over in Hesperia? I go, yeah, they're good. I go, I think Hanan made like 60 grand last month. He goes, last year or last month? I go, last month. He goes, say what? I go, yeah. He goes, no. And I told him, and he goes, well, I got my insurance license. Like, how come you never asked me to work with you? I go, oh, dude, you're super busy. He goes, I see these guys. He goes, I see these guys doing it like on the weekends. I could probably do that. It's like Brandy wouldn't be mad. It's, I was like, all right, fine. You can. So but you guys see that this is an attractive thing to people that you might have been afraid to talk to before, and you have a way to get them in. And you also have a way to get people to start recruiting right away. Like if it's me, I would be, if I'm in y'all's shoes, like I would try to get every single person I've ever talked to in my life to come do it. And my pitch is real simple. Hey, we got more people calling in than we can help. We need people to help with it. You could start part-time. If it didn't interfere with what you were doing, would you be open to the possibility? Let me get you some information. And then I would send them to some sort of overview. We have that FFL VBO that y'all should use that. Go, go, go join that. FFLVBO.com/join. You can create your own individual link. You can send that out to people. It'll give you a dashboard that you can log into to watch the progress. So you can send that to people. They can set up a time to join your webinar. You can see if they actually do it. It'll send a follow-up email sequence. It'll send follow-up text messages. You can see who's interested. It'll give them a call to action at the end of it, see whether or not they would be open to it. And the thing goes off 5 times a day, 7 days a week. And so you can consistently, like when I was building, like when I didn't have anything to lose and I was terrified of missing out on this, what I was trying to do is every day before noon, I was trying to get 5 people to a webinar before noon. And then I would do one at 6, and I would try to get another 5 people to commit to be on the 6 o'clock one. That's what I did all day long during the week, and I sold on the weekends. And that led to pretty much the whole foundation of my entire organization. That's where all of it came from. And so you guys can do that right now. Just focusing on this inbound call thing. And where you guys all have an advantage is you guys are really great at teaching people how to sell insurance. Your skill set has actually not been utilized the way we've been doing telesales, because the skill set we've been utilizing for telesales for the last couple of years is I need to work on these people's brains so they don't quit during the 6 hours that they want to bash their face into a window. Like that was the only thing that we're like, that's all we've been doing is like, how do we keep people's attitudes good when they want to drive their car into a tree on the way home because they're so demoralized from getting no-showed, people not answering, people hanging up. Like that's all we've been working on for years. There hasn't been as much sales training as there used to be. Now, because the only thing I have to worry about is Marisa answering the phone when the lead calls. She gets plenty at bats. Marisa, Rami, Christina, Heather can say, hey, when they've said this, you should have said this. So all this sales training and ability that you guys have to teach people how to do this at a high level, you could put this into play more than you've ever been able to put it into play in the past. Like one of the things on the inbound calls that people are struggling with that cracks me up is they're like, well, that person thought it was free. And I'm like, it's the same as the person that doesn't remember filling it out. What is the difference? You have a person on the phone that's looking to make sure that their family isn't burdened when they die. There's no confusion why they're calling. That is why they're calling. I don't care if they think it's a government benefit. I don't care why they just want to make sure that their family doesn't have to have a car wash when they pass away because they know that's a scumbag thing to do. So they want to make sure they do the right thing by their family. So all you have to do is to teach people how to overcome a few simple objections, which are all really great at overcoming. Teach people how to care about the family, look at it like a family, not as a lead. Teach people to think about the beneficiary and put the family first. Teach people how not to have commission breath and do their best job. Teach people the underwriting. You get all this, you have all these opportunities way more often throughout the day than we used to have when we were just solely dependent on people dialing out 100% of the time. Like I can get people so many reps before noon that it's ridiculous, you know? And then people go, well, the leads are expensive. They're all expensive. They're all expensive. If you want to sell $30,000 worth of insurance, you have to spend thousands of dollars on leads. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked. It might be expensive for you to buy everybody leads. I never thought that was a good idea anyway. Nobody ever bought me any. And I don't know any. And listen, if you're on lead assistance, great. But you should try to get off lead assistance because it's hurting you. Other people buying you leads man, I'm going to go far on this, but I'm just going to tell y'all straight up. Like, if other people are buying your leads, that's hurting you. It's not helping you. It's giving you like this crutch and like this thing to lean on that's not that stable. And then what it's doing is giving you excuses because you could always blame the leads. And then you'll start playing games in your mind like, well, maybe they're not giving me the good ones and maybe they're reselling these things. And you start coming up with all this stuff. But when it's you And it's your money on the line. You work it a lot harder. You overcome the problems, and that resourcefulness that you have to use in order to get the money to buy the leads to invest in your business gives you confidence. It gives you oomph, like strength and just pride in the fact that you're doing something for yourself. And there's that old adage that people say is like, business owners will work 100 hours a week for $40,000 a year instead of working 40 hours a week for $50,000 a year on somebody else's time. I'll work that $100 a week, 100 hours a week to make less because it's on my time than I will that 40 hours a week on somebody else's time to make more. And and there's something true to that. There's something that is so soulful about that. And if you get to the point in your life where that like vibes with you, then you can kick all the doors down. Like there's just something about it. And you only get that if you're the one that's paying the piper. You can't do it by being dependent on anyone else. You got to learn how to depend on yourself, walk by faith, and make the thing work. I got way off on a bunch of tangents there, but
No, that was like perfect. And at the end of the day, if you're not buying your own leads or not running your own business, someone else is running it for you. And that just doesn't sound like a good long-term plan. So I love that, Trey. Um, and if you could say like one or two things, maybe like for those agents out there who maybe haven't recruited yet or are really nervous to kind of like share the opportunity. You make it so simple, Trey, and that's because you actually just make it so simple. And like I've done it with you face to face, and it's great. But for those agents who are maybe sitting at home and they're like, okay, like I have maybe 5 or 10 people that I would want to be in business with, but I don't know how to approach them. Like, what's an easy way that you can pretty much approach like anybody?
well, okay. So I've been married 21 years, right? So I don't like, I'm going to use this analogy, and people under like 35 probably don't even know what this is. But this is a lot like dating, like before the apps. They, they have apps. Like we didn't have apps. Like I had to like start conversations with people and try to get them to go to coffee. That that's what recruiting is. Recruiting is like everybody thinks it's like they're like it's the result. No, it's the relationship, it's the date, it's the process. It's not just like swipe whatever way people swipe on apps. God, I need to use better material. But
No, that's
but
so
you
this is solid, by the way.
but that's what it is. People are so caught up on what to say. Just say something. Just say hi. The rest of it will come. People aren't recruiting because they're saying the wrong thing. They're not recruiting because they're saying no thing. And one of the things that's happened with social media that totally drives me crazy is people think that all they got to do is post. No, like people use that like they hide behind it. You still have to talk to people. If you post something on social media regarding your business that somebody actually responds to, the very first thing you should say when you get that response in your DM is you should say, "What's your cell phone number?" Because you should be trying to get these people on a cell phone and like talk to them. That's all recruiting is just taking people from not knowing to knowing through a process of good, bad, and ugly. And if they still want to do it, take those ones. And sometimes that process, it's a belief building process, and sometimes the process takes a while. So where people make a mistake is they wait so long to start it. Like if you just simply do this, if you were to take out your phone and call, okay, make a list, everybody, make a list of 10 people that if you were to actually call them would answer. I'll give y'all some time. Like you should actually do this. Who are 5 people that if you were just to call them, they would actually answer your phone call? All right, let's start with those ones. And all you're going to do with those people is just say something like, hey, I just started a new business. I don't know if you would be interested in it or not. It pays really great. They're looking for part time people. If I send you some information, would you look at it? If you think it's stupid, I'll never bring it up again. Whatever y'all say. Like, I think people are like afraid to say something because they don't want people to judge them, or they don't want people to think that they're trying to sell them. Just tell them that. Hey, I started this business. We need people to help. I was afraid to call you because I didn't want you to think I was trying to get you into some pyramid scheme, because I'm not. But hey, it pays really well. You can start part time. If I send you some information, would you at least look at it? What's the worst thing they could say? No. I knew you were going to say no. So this is the part where I ask you to do it for me because we're friends. And then if you think it's dumb, I'll never bring it up again. Because what I'm hoping is at least you'll know somebody that would be interested. It takes 15 minutes. I never ask you for much. Like, that's it. Like, ask for a favor, have a normal conversation. Another thing, my son Harper recruits everybody. Harper recruits everybody. Harper has 17 people in class because he
Harper's the
has a
man.
job. Dude, Harper has a job at the church. Okay. He's in charge of the IT department. He's 15. He's getting ready to graduate high school. I mean, I brag on Harper a lot. But, but Harper ain't afraid of nothing. That's the thing. Like, he ain't afraid of nothing. Like, he says stuff to me, and I'm like, you're right. That's exactly how you should look at that. That's a good point. So he comes to me yesterday. He goes, hey, Dad, so I sent the voucher to, and then he rattles off like 17 people. And I'm like, wow. I go, who's so and so? He goes, oh, he does the landscaping at the church and he sells cars on Saturday. Works down at the Kia dealership. He just got married and he had this other job. He was working at the school, and then Miss McNeil, like, she wanted to fire him. And I always thought that was wrong. So I was like, I talk to him when I see him at work. And I'm like, why are you just selling cars? Like you're selling cars on Saturday? You make any money doing that? And I said, what did he say when he said that? He said, he's only sold one car, Dad. He made $450. And I go, that's terrible. He goes, that's what I said. I said, what'd you say then? He goes, you should sell insurance with my dad. You could do that on Saturdays too, and it pays way more. I go, what'd you do? He goes, I sent him to the VBO. You know, like, okay, that's one. Tell me about the next one. He goes into the next one. Mr. T, like, he goes into the whole thing. So that's part of it. The other part of it is when you have conversations with people, just offer this as a solution. Like, y'all know people that this would be really good for. And here's the thing that holds people back is you think because you suck at it, they're going to suck at it. That's what holds people back. Because y'all think, oh my God, this is hard and I got to buy leads. And you have a bad attitude already. And you're thinking, I didn't make my money back. I got to charge back. This happened to me. That happened to me. I need to figure this out. I need to deposit $75,000 in a week or nobody's going to listen to me. I need to get a Lamborghini or no one's going to listen. And because you have in your mind this idea of what success is for you, and you're neglecting what other people can accomplish. First of all, the best thing you could do is recruit people that are better at it than you are. And don't be mad when they are. That's the best thing that can happen, actually. You want people to sell more than you. That's a blessing. You want a leg that takes off. The best thing that could ever happen to you in the life insurance business is for you to get one team that blows past you. That is the thing. That's the thing that drives it. Ask Grady. Ask Andrew Taylor. Like, ask anybody. Everybody will tell you the same thing. Right? So you want people that are better at it than you are. But the other thing is you your results aren't other people's results. Like, you don't know what success is for them. There are people right now in your circle, in your cell phone, that are fighting over money every single night with their spouse. They're about getting ready to get divorced. Their lights are about to get turned off at their house. They're about to lose their car. They're about to get fired from their job. They have no idea. Somebody's about to get cancer where they can't work. I have a friend. She told me, she said, I better be careful what I say on this. her husband has an issue. He goes to the doctor, and it might be a pretty serious issue. And she ain't saying it, but I know in her mind she's thinking, what if he can't work? Like, that's what this fixes. And there's people, and this is another thing that's going to ruffle y'all's feathers because it ruffled my feathers. I had to learn to get over this. There's people that want this more than you do. You may not take it that serious. It may not be, this might be a part time gig that you're just playing around with, but you might have four people in your phone that this is life or death. And those people will go build a business. And you would want to be one of those. The person that recruited Andrew Taylor into the insurance industry sold $6,000 his first day, went and bought a whole bunch of new clothes, went and took everybody to the bar, all the business charged back the next day, and he quit. That was stupid. If you'd have just hung on. Like, can you imagine? That's therapy for life. They're still Instagram friends. Can you imagine that? So, so that's the thing. And it's not the people you think will do it, by the way. It never works out like that. Um, it's not the people you think will. The people that you think won't actually will, and the people you think will actually won't. And then what's going to happen is ultimately it's going to be somebody you don't even know that wants it more than everybody. But none of that happens. None of that happens until you say something to somebody. And all you have to do is be honest. Dude, all you got to do is be honest. Hey, listen, I've been doing life insurance for a long time. I've never talked to you about it, but I think you'd actually be pretty good. I was afraid you were thinking I was trying to get you in a pyramid scheme, but I'm not. You actually would be good at it. If the money were right, would you at least be open to looking? Well, I'm not good at sales. I knew you were going to say that. You should meet Marisa. That's who I work with. You totally relate to her story. That's what she thought too. I mean, dude, and that's the other thing is y'all have got to use, you got to leverage what you got because Christina, Marisa, Rami, uh, Heather, Afro, all these people that are really great at this business, like leverage them, like they work for you. That's the way you got to start looking at it. Put them to work. Me, leverage me. I have time. I'll help. Leverage me. I'll talk to anybody you need me to talk to because that's my job. We work for you. And I think the other thing that holds people back is they think, hey, I got to train all these people. No, no, you actually, another mistake people make is they train too many, they train too much. We train too much because you buy people's excuses of thinking they need to know more and they sell you on how much they don't know because they're trying to avoid making phone calls or talking to clients or taking phone calls now. That's what's really going on. All these people you think need to train are really good at manipulating you into spending a bunch of time with them so that they can get out of doing the work that they're afraid to do. You got to get good at just being like, no, you should just do that. What about this? I don't know. Call them. What do I write? Do I need carriers? You don't even need carriers. You should call that one. Like, dude, no joke. When I first day, like Mr. T, this Mr. T's already licensed. So we're dialing, taking calls from inbound calls on Saturday. He got like three calls, weren't even his own. He only has California. He got like three calls from another state. He's like, what do I do? I don't have Illinois. I go, don't worry about that. Just sell it. he's like, how do I log into America? I go, dude, you don't have America. Well, I go, but you should write this. He's like, oh, I don't have that one either. Found out he didn't have any carriers. Boom. That's awesome. That's the way it should start. Dude, Andrew Taylor wrote his first 14 applications in a state where he wasn't even licensed on the wrong paper application. Right. Like he was writing he was writing California business on Arizona applications. And he had the wrong paper app. That's how you could screw it up back in the day. You can't screw it up like that now. But this is a similar story. But what most people do is they try to wait and get all their ducks in. Don't do that. Just start right now. It can't get no worse. They already haven't bought it. But you know what? You know what I firmly believe is an hour in the field is worth 20 in the classroom. So all this time that we spend trying to like alleviate the fear and and overcome and make people prepared and all this nonsense, like they're not going to be prepared. There's too much to prepare for. If we were to slow down and try to teach you all the stuff that you actually need to know to do it, nobody would ever start. We should just start and then just be like, I don't really know. Like, hey, I take I take amlodipine. It's okay to be like, what's that for? Like, you don't know. You aren't supposed to know. You're not a pharmacist. You shouldn't know what it is. You know, like it's okay. Somebody says, um, somebody said the other day, this new kid that's in the office works with Gabe. He's on the phone with a guy, and the guy goes, "Hey, can we think this over?" And he looks at Gabe and he goes, "He wants to know. He wants to know if he can think it over." And Gabe goes, "Tell him no." And he goes, "No, you got to decide right now." He's like, "Okay, I'll do the 67." but, but we could have trained him for 4 hours on I want to think about it. And
And he
he
wouldn't
still
have
wouldn't have
just
made a
said
phone call.
no. He
Yeah,
wouldn't have just said no. He probably would have walked his way out of the sale.
he really that's how it goes, right? So anyway,
I love
hopefully
that,
this all
Trey.
makes sense.
I haven't heard the analogy an hour in the field. And guys, if you will, an hour on the phones with a potential prospect is worth 20 in the classroom, right? Like, so to Trey's point, Trey, I think I've been manipulated quite a bit in the industry in terms of, I don't know this or that. And it's like, you always tell me everyone, like everyone consistently does something, right? And I think that, I'm consistently manipulated to think that some of y'all need more training than you do, but we actually just need more time in the field and less in the classroom, right? So it's like
Yep.
that's huge, and it translates from the field to telesales guys. It's no different. When we say the field, we just mean working with families or working the business. So I love that. I love that.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
in
and
Trey, just
unmuting's huge because you can't get help if people don't know what to help with. Like this ego and like fear and afraid of what people think or thinking you should be in a certain place when you're not, you can't actually grow from where you think you should be. You can only grow from where you're actually at. And it's okay. It's actually incredibly empowering to know nothing and be brand new and be a little bit dependent and to need help. Like that's actually a really freeing place to be. Because if you can just be honest and comfortable in your own skin and own it, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Y'all gonna have to help me. I just cussed. I never cuss. I don't know what just happened. Y'all are the first people that I've talked to in 30 days. I haven't even talked to, I just, it's been doing this inbound call tech crap. But but it's okay to be like, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. There's something by owning that, there's so much power in it. Just own it. Like one of the things that happened to me early on, and I would have quit the business if this didn't happen because I was listening to all the trainings and I was listening back then. All we did was HMS with cashback. It was America with cashback. It was return of premium term, and all the training was all about return of premium term. And I was having a hard time. I couldn't sell it. I was having a hard time, and I was about to be out of business. I would sell it, and everything I sold charged back, and I was just in a mess. And it was always about price, And I'm like, well, when value exceeds price, people buy. And I knew all the stuff, and I'm like, how do I build value in this stuff, and how do I get people to keep it? But I wasn't getting nobody to keep it, and I was afraid to talk to Sean because I thought I knew what he was going to say because I heard him say it all the time on calls. So I'm like, I already know what he's going to say. I'm not even going to say nothing to him. I already know what one time I cornered him and I go, dude, can I talk to you about something? And he goes, you look disturbed. I go, yeah. I go, I'm not doing really good. I'm I'm doing pretty bad at this. And he goes, I know. And he goes, what's the problem, bud? And I go, well, you say like term and cash back and we should build value and we should do this. And I go, I get a bunch of people that don't want that. Like, what do you do when they don't want that? And he goes, I just sell them the regular term. And I'm like, oh, It's not what I expected him to say at all. But it wasn't until I humbled myself to the point where I was like, hey, like, I'm about to be on my way out. Like, this ain't working. I don't want to, I'm afraid to bother you guys. That's how it always was. I was always like, I'm afraid to bother y'all because I don't want to be a burden. I don't want you to think I'm complaining. And yes, there's some truth. Some of y'all, I'm not attacking nobody because I can't see everybody on the screen, but I know by default there's people that this fits into. Some of y'all need to learn how to ask for help without complaining. That's a skill. Like, don't complain and ask for help. Just ask for help without complaining. Once you learn how to do that, it's okay to ask for help. Because a lot of people are afraid to bother folks, but you're not a bother as long as you're not complaining while you're asking for help. So a real good way to do it is like, hey, I don't want to complain. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's not working. I need help. And then allow somebody to actually coach you. And then when they do coach you, don't go, oh, I did that. Oh, I did that. Like it's the quickest way to get people not to want to ever talk to you again, by the way, especially when they really are busy. Just be like, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that. I'll go do that and I'll come back. Is it okay if I come back? And that's how I got in. When it was just me and Andrew, Paul early on, and Sean, like they were in the worst situation of their entire life and they were all so busy and overwhelmed. And I just didn't want to be a burden. So that's what I did. I learned how to communicate and not complain and not be a thorn in anybody's side. And it was just cool if I hung out and figured it out along the way. And that's how I stayed in. Some of y'all have to get okay with that. And that was an uncomfortable place for me to be because I want to be the guy that knows everything. But I had to realize, hey, I don't, on paper, it looks like I should actually do better at this than I actually am. My ego says I'm failing miserably. How do I get over that and figure out what it is that I'm doing wrong? I had terrible persistency early on. And all the things I thought I needed to do to fix my persistency were kind of wrong. It wasn't until I was able to go, hey, listen, I sell it and they cancel the next day. And I don't know why. And then somebody goes, oh, well, when you ask them how much they make, he goes, do you consider that when you show them prices? And I'm like, probably not. No, I actually don't. Hey, when they call you, when the phone rings and it's the client, what's going through your head before you pick it up? I go, I'm thinking they're going to cancel. He goes, so you usually don't answer. And I go, right. He goes, if they're going to cancel, do you want to know sooner or later? I'm like, soon. Because in my mind, I'm thinking maybe they won't pay me the commission and maybe I won't get a charge back. And there's all these things going through my head. And it was just a little bit of coaching to get me to look at it differently. And like, then I became some of the best, my personal persistency is amazing. And it has been for years, even if I only sell one or two a month. So anyway, I hope that helps, Risa.
It
This was
does. It
fun.
helps immensely. I mean, you hit all the way from essentially, guys, sharing the opportunity as simple as using the link in the Slack channel, registering and shooting it out to people that you would actually want to be in the business with, and having those conversations that are really just like, hey, like, what's up? If I could introduce you to an opportunity, like, would you take a look at it? You know anybody else who would want to look at it? Like, we're not begging anybody to work here. And I think that that's like a major key. Like we don't want everybody to work here. Like we want you guys, everybody on this call knows about the good, the bad, the ugly of the insurance industry. And that's what we want and that's what we're going for. And then from a personal stance, I mean, I love how you talked about like that you have to be humbled to a point that you can actually skillfully ask the question. Like asking for help without complaining absolutely is a skill, one that I needed to acquire as well, Trey. And it's served me in the business because if you call somebody, if I called Trey right now and was like, hey, dude, like, I don't know what to do. This is awful. This is awful. This is awful. And like, I just think it's never going to work out. It's like, what is he really going to say? Like, he's, first of all, he's not a doctor. And like, second of all, like, I'm being really negative and I'm complaining about something that's been proven to work, right? So perspective is everything, guys, but asking for help and realizing like, hey, I might think I know. I love how you use that. I thought I know what he was going to say about the cash back option. And then he was like, I just write them regular term. It's like, guys, those small, small things, you're bothering us when you don't reach out. And then it's like, I talked to 12 people last week and I showed them all an IUL and really they made $1,000 a month and I was showing them 250. Okay, well, there's a really quick perspective we could frame for you, and you probably would have helped 11 out of those 12 people if we got ahead of it. So being able to humble yourself in this business is something that I have to do daily and reach out for help. But reaching out for help and leveling up with people like Trey is amazing. So Trey, thank you so much for your time today. I'm blessed to be in business with you truly. And guys, I don't say this lightly. Like, in my personal opinion, one of the best recruiters in the insurance industry is Trey Honeycutt. Like, period, is Trey Honeycutt. So it's like, if you're needing help and you're actually putting the work into the process, like, reach out. To Trey's point, we're here. We want to help you. But if we don't know what you're doing, you're not doing much of anything, then there's really nothing to help out with. So, Trey, I appreciate your time immensely. Thank you so much for jumping on with us today.
Thanks for having me. This was a blast. I'll
Appreciate
talk to you
you.
guys soon.
See you soon. Bye.